Greetings, Glitter Gang, and welcome back to Kathryn Scraps Live. This is the, I don't know, like the fourth recording for July 21st. It's been a day, but we just completed the X pocket from the previous page, so now we just need to design an insert for this back pocket here. So the question is, do we want to do a flip of this X pocket, do another X pocket that's facing the other direction? Or do we want to do like a more like a photo wallet like this? I mean, we already have a big waterfall. I don't think we need multiple waterfalls. And then here we have a pocket, and here we have a pocket. So... all right. So anyway, that's what we're working on now. So the question is, what are we going to put in the pocket? So let me get the whiteboard and let's think about what this pocket is going to be called. This pocket or whatever this is going to be. Let's do something gatefolded. So we'll call this the Gatefold wallet. All right. So something like this. All right. So I'm thinking if we do diagonal pockets on the gatefold, and then, you know, we can stick a tag in here and in here. All right, so, and then it'll open out this way and out this way. And then on the inside, we can do the standard 8 7/8 double photo mat. But let's also make this a pocket and have a giant tag sticking out that we can do another 2 photo mats on. So in order to do that, this tag needs to be, let's say, okay, so the tag is 6.5 by 9 7/8, and that'll give us an inch at the top. So then this pocket, let's do it pretty big. Let's do it 7 inches. So the pocket will be 7 by 8 7/8. Okay. And then on the pocket, which is 7 by 8 7/8. So the paper needs to be 9 by 9 7/8. So that's the pattern paper. And we're going to score here at 1 inch and 8 inches. And then we're going to score here at 8 7/8 inches. Okay. And then these will be half of 7, so they'll be 3.5. Will be 3.5 by 8 7/8. So we need 2 cut at 4.5 by 8 7/8. And then the flaps have their own pockets, which we'll just make 3.5 by 3.5. And so those need to be cut at 4.5 by 4.5. Once again, 4.5 by 4.5. All right, and remember this one doesn't have a tutorial, so you do need to just write this down. So take a screenshot, whatever, take notes. I'm going to leave that there while I start cutting. And I'm going to continue using this cardstock, which I believe Cocoa is the closest cardstock in the ColorMates Smooth and Silky line. So, Cocoa. All right, so that's 6.5 by 9 7/8. That's the tag. I have this piece left over, which I can get at least these 4.5 by 4.5 inch squares out of. Okay. All right, so then I need to work on some of these bigger pieces. I'm going to just check my scrap bag to see what I've got that I might be able to use. And I do have some larger pieces, so I think this one's big enough to do the 7 by 8 7/8, or the 9 by 9 7/8 rather. It's just a little short. It's not perfectly 9, but that's okay. That's okay. It won't matter. Oops, I put, okay. All right, so these are, I've got this one, and these two. So now I just need to get the 4.5 by 8 7/8 inch ones, and I think these two are going to be big enough. All right. So let me cut them down to 4.5 by 8 7/8. All right, so we've got all of our pieces, and if you didn't have time to take all the notes you wanted to take, don't worry, because this will be in the archives and on YouTube, so you'll have access to it one way or another. All right, so let's go ahead and get to scoring. So I'm going to pull out my scoreboard. All right, so these are the 4.5 by 8 7/8 inch pieces, which get scored on the 4.5 inch side at 3.5. Okay. And then the 4.5 inch pieces get scored at 3.5 on each side, so they're 4.5 inches square. And you want to do them so that their scores are in different corners. So these two are in the bottom right. And then these two are in the bottom left. All right, this is the tag. It's not scored. This is the piece that's, it's not quite 9 in my case, but if I still score at 1 and at 8, like I was planning, the scores will be in the right spot. Just one of my flaps will be a little shorter, and that does not matter to me. And then score at 8 7/8 on the long side. All right, so that should make us, oh, I guess we need a back. we need a piece that's 6 3/4 by 8 3/4 to just be the back so that the pocket has something to stick into. So I'll just this isn't going to show, so I think what I'll do is, yeah, I'm just going to tape it together from these scraps. Because I am running low on this paper. All right. And these 3 sheets will be big enough. Okay, so I'm going to cut this down to 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. All right, so this is the back. Okay, so now we can assemble. And again, 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. So let's talk about how we're gonna put all these pieces together. All right, so this is, first thing we're gonna do is fold along all the score lines and burnish. I think what we'll do is I'll finish this pocket, and then tonight, if we're just decorating and then maybe working on that pen, we'll see. I think tonight will be a little easier for me because I won't be having to come up with ideas. We'll just be doing decorating, which of course you guys know decorating for me is the part that I find easier. So, but if I can't, if I'm really tired after dinner, what I'll do is we'll just work on the pen tonight. You know, we'll just work on the pen, and then we'll, you know, finish this up next week. So I am trying to be really good about energy because I don't want to make my recovery harder on myself. Okay, so on the inside of these flaps, on just the edge, okay, just the outside edge is where we're going to put the tape from the pocket, okay? But yeah, I am like, yeah, I'm just tired. It's so funny. It's just so, it's not, I mean, it's, you know, it's not just funny, and it's also bad, I guess. But, and then this is the back piece, the piece that's 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. I'm just going to put tape in a U shape on the 2 sides and the bottom. You know, you really do think you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm good. And then you just do really basic stuff and your body's like, no, you're not. You are not good. You are not good. And you're like, all right, body, sorry about that. Sorry, I thought I was good, but I guess I wasn't. You're the boss. Okay, so now we're going to cut through the intersection made by these two score lines, see how it forms an X? Just go ahead and put that X in the center of your trimmer and cut right through it. And that gives you a perfectly mitered corner without having to measure out a 45-degree angle. And then do it again on the other side. Okay. All right, so then we're gonna peel the tape off both these pieces. Okay. Okay. And then you're going to center this piece in between the score lines. So just line it up with the top and center it in between the score lines. And then you can just go ahead and fold the bottom up and then fold in one side and then fold in the other. Okay. And then that's your pocket. So I'm just going to put tape on the back of this while I have it out. And I am using Miracle tape, but any, you know, extra sticky double-sided tape, any pressure sensitive tape will work. So score tape, Miracle tape, red line tape, any tape like that. All right, and then this tape is what's going to stick it into the book. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and burnish it. And the reason you burnish the tape is because this tape family is pressure sensitive tape. So what that means is the more pressure that's put on it, the stronger it gets. So you want to go ahead and get yours as strong as possible. Okay, so then these are going to go right here and right here to make our little gatefolds. So we're going to put the tape here on these flaps, and we're going to put one on the score line and one on the edge. All right, so those are ready. Go ahead and burnish that tape as well. And then we're going to angle the pockets. So these have their own little pockets here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put this score line and this score line. So this edge and this edge, we're going to put them on the same line on our mat. Okay, so we're going to just put both those score lines on the same line on our mat and then cut. Okay. All right. Okay. And then when you've done one, okay, put them face to face like this and do the other one. Or you can just line it up again, same way as before, line them both up on your mat and just cut. Either way. Okay. All right, so these are going to make corners to go like so. So there's going to be cute little pockets there that we can put our tags in. Okay. so let's talk about how we're going to do that now. So we're going to start by, you know, putting our tape. All right. And again, we're going to put tape on the score line and on the edge. Okay. On both of them. Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these corners the same way we cut the other ones, where we're just going to cut through the center of the X. So all you have to do is just put the center of that X under the wire of your trimmer and just cut. Okay? All right, so all right, now what we're going to do is we're going to cut this. So I'm just going to come in with my scissors and just trim it flush with the corner so it's not sticking out. And trim again. Trim, triminy, trim, triminy, trim, trim, true. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to stick these all together. So we're going to line this corner up with the same corner that's scored, okay? So that they're like this. Again, we're lining up the corner with the score lines. Okay. And then burnish. All right, so now we've got a little pocket there. Just repeat on the other side. Okay, flip it over, burnish. All right, so now we're gonna stick these onto this, okay? So we're gonna just peel the tape and then line up this score line with this score line. Burnish. Okay, and then with the second one, I'm gonna gatefold them. So I'm not gonna line it up with the edge exactly. I'm gonna line the seam up in the middle, and then that way if this needs to hang over, it doesn't. It's actually I mean, it's perfect. Look at it. Look at it. So it doesn't need to hang over at all, but if it did, then it could just hang over the edge a little bit and no one would notice. All right. Okay, so now we want 4 magnets and 4 metal caps. So let's grab those. And with these, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick them down in the middle. My ATG is running out. About an inch down from the top and an inch in from the seams. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and just to hold those down until we've got our pattern paper on this, because I am going to put pattern paper on it, I think. When we come back tonight. All right, and so next, let's go ahead and get out our glue dots and our magnets. I'm just going to put a magnet in the center of each circle. And then with our glue dots, I'm going to put a glue dot on each magnet. All right. Okay, so then I'm going to just recenter these magnets. And then I'm going to close this and push down. And close this and push down. Okay, so then when I pull them up, my magnets are stuck in place. The other thing I need to do is replace the tape in my ATG. I have one roll left after this, so I definitely need to order more tape. All right, so let's get this on. ATG is ready to go. All right, let's put a little tape on our magnets so they don't pop out. Okay. And then the only thing left, and this will be dealt with when we do the decorating, is just to put the tag, make the tag into a tag. But there it is. So we've got open, open, photo, photo, journaling or something on the sides, tags here in our little cute pockets, and then tags here, which will hold 4 more photos. All right, so that is the gatefold pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up for today, for this afternoon here. And tonight when we come back, depending on if I'm feeling like I can do a full show, whatever, we'll do the decorating for this and make the tags and all of that. And we'll finish this off, or we'll work on the pen. Jill suggested making a flat pen, so we'll work on the pen otherwise. Maybe we'll do both if I'm feeling really frisky. I guess we'll find out. So thanks so much for joining me for the Vintage Staples album. It's good to be back and good to see all of you again. Be sure to check the rest of the Vintage Staples playlist to see all the different inserts and items that we learned how to make along the way. And be sure to join us tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. I'm here every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern USA time and 9 p.m. Eastern USA time. There's a link in the video description for a time zone converter if you're watching on YouTube, so you can convert that time to whatever time it is where you are. Currently, it's 4 p.m. Eastern USA time, so 5 hours from now is when I'll be back. So whatever time it is where you are, just add 5 hours. That's when I'll be back. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. It's been fun being back here with all of you. I'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 5 hours from now. Remember to stay hydrated, stay safe. I'll see you next time. Those of you who are overseas and are headed to dinner or headed to bed, have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week. Everyone else, I'll see you tonight. Bye now.